Ooh, what about your friends?
She's excited for this episode.
Will they let you?
Welcome, guys, to Eagle Talk. We are here with a great episode talking about friends, as you can tell how we started.
My friends, better than your friends. Y'all want to see how many songs I know? Okay, my husband is looking at me crazy, but we are here and we are going to talk about friends, y'all. What about your friends? But before we get into it, welcome to the Eagle Talk with Team Lewis podcast. We are so grateful and honored that you are here, and we are just ready to rock with you this week.
If you guys can do us a favor, give us a 5-star review on the podcast platforms. Of course, share this episode and like, share, and subscribe. Always.
Look, Corey, like on all the stuff. Y'all know we on YouTube, we on Audible, we're on podcasts. What's the thing the Android users use?
We don't know.
Google Play, whatever that is. God bless you, Android users. We welcome y'all to the Eagle Talk community as well. Yeah. But that's the one thing that you all can do just to help us continue to grow. Your shares, your 5-star review means more to us than you will ever know. So we thank you for that. And can we check in real quick, baby?
Real quick. Okay. Fresh from vacation. We're back at work, about to go back on vacation. And that's the truth.
That is the truth. So y'all, we went to Cabo, and which is actually one of the things that prompted this this topic that we're going to talk about. But we went on our second annual framily. That's family with the R, friends that have become family. Framily vacation is what we're going to call it.
It was epic.
It was epic. We're going to tell y'all a little bit about that and how it inspired this episode. Yeah. And then tomorrow we are headed to Martha's Vineyard, where we have no idea what we're going to do.
I was on YouTube last night. I still don't know, but I'm excited about it. I also have some family that built a house there, I think about 4 years ago.
Yep.
So I'm excited to see some family, but it's supposed to be real upscale and great experience. I'll leave it.
And that is actually another second annual. Now this is the retreat, the Bell Lewis retreat. My very best friend Michelle, last year we went to Destin for the first time. We rented a house, her boys, our boys. It was a great time, and we decided that we would make it a yearly tradition. And Michelle and her husband, they have a business. They are in home health care. And she's already told me, like, hey, 3 of the nights that we're going to be there, she's already blocked off an agenda so that we can mastermind. So even though we're in different businesses, we're going to talk a little bit about what we're doing in our business, what they're doing in Chicago. And that brings us to this topic. What about your friend?
I absolutely hate that song.
Okay, well,
she's been singing it for like 2 hours.
But I was trying to think of our friends. How many of us have them? Let's be friends.
Oh boy. All right, guys, we're going to get started. No, seriously, we're eagle talking.
We eagle talking.
I guess on vacation, when we got back from vacation, and really we're talking about the quality of friends that we have.
Yes.
Which again sparked this episode, and we wanted to just see, I guess, the quality of friends you guys have.
Yeah, and just
and
really
evaluate them
and talk about that. No, absolutely. So, we have definitely had conversations before about talking about just having quality relationships and how impactful that will be, not only for your business life, but for your life in general, right? And we're eagles, so we know birds of a feather flock together. And, I think there are so many quotes, right? The quality, you want to look at who you are, look at the 5 people you're closest to, right? Mm-hmm. The quality of your life depends on the quality of your relationships. And that is so true. But I will be honest to say that when you're trying something new, when you're, when you're having a baby, when you're going through death, when you're sick, when you are opening a business, when you get married, there are a lot of different things that happens in our life where the air can get thinner. And you really have to take stock on what relationships are going to bring most value to you, but more importantly, what relationships you can bring most value to. And it has to be a two-way street. And we just spent a week in Cabo with just with some like thinkers, right? just with some people who we're doing different things. We're all successful in our own rights. But we all are kind of going for the same sort of goal. Mm-hmm. And in these relationships, and what I've noticed is that when there is true reciprocity, meaning that it's not give or take, where we are truly pouring into each other, where there's honesty about where you are, your vulnerability, your, like we have homies that when we down, a couple bands, we can be honest and say I'm down some bands, and when we up, we can say we up. And there is just something just very special about being a friend and receiving that back. But it can be a lonely road. And we just want to kind of go into that. And one thing that Kevin Hart said on a recent interview kind of sparked something in us.
Yeah. We were in Cabo again. And I think our second day, we did a walk, a sunrise walk. Mm-hmm. It had to be, I don't know, 5:50, 6:05 in the morning, something up in there. And we literally walked up the beach, the guys, and we had some really good conversation, and we were able to kind of see where everybody else is in life, and also dream a little bit.
Wait, so I'm gonna back that up, right? Because you kind of glazing over that. So let me set the stage for what that looked like.
I don't want to give too many details.
No, not about the conversation, but I just want to I want to do the setup.
Okay.
So imagine that we on a trip, y'all, and we went with about 5 to 6 other couples, and everybody kicking it. Like, we kicking it, we having fun. But the president was sad. Like, one of the fellas was like, "Hey guys, I want y'all to get up tomorrow. Like, we gonna go catch the sunrise, right?" So imagine, y'all, you get up in the morning. I'm an early riser, and then one of the other gentlemen, his wife is an early riser. So we went down to the beach. She and I just kind of hung out and talked on the beach while I was writing. But these guys get up 6 o'clock in the morning on vacation after kicking it, but they go to have a walk, to talk, to pray, to dream together. That's huge.
No, it was an amazing moment. We got a picture from, I think you got it, but it was a picture. It was a back picture of us walking on the beach. I guess you took it.
I took it.
Yeah,
I saw y'all when y'all walking away.
And it meant a lot to me because these are my family, but we all were on the same page, and we all vulnerable. Is with the relationship at this point, the walls are down.
Yeah.
So that was one thing that we did. The second thing is we were having lunch. And I'll do this at my mastermind every single time. I always go around the table and ask people to give me 2 things that you are grateful for. And we're talking about business, but I added an extra one this time because I've learned from a couple of people that we don't give ourselves enough credit, right? Life is hard. And, when we accomplish something, we just scratch it off the list and go to the next thing.
Yeah.
I made everybody tell an accomplishment or something that they can really kind of pat their back, pat themselves on the back. So that was kind of cool because it was so different going
from
around the table. Yeah. I had never done that before. And just to hear people's, things that they had done that I didn't even know were, huge in their life was pretty cool.
Yeah. So I love hearing that. And what it makes me think about, Corey, is the fact that, quite honestly, a lot of us live in a culture or have grew up in a way where it was like, if people ain't family, you can't trust them.
Right.
Or don't be telling nobody your business, or you got to keep to yourself, or, if once you go out and be successful, prepare to be isolated. Mm-hmm. And I think that we are experiencing something completely different because we are opening ourselves up. Okay. So we have a homegirl, Tanisha Lusk, who, she actually spoke at Eagle Talk Live. She's been on this podcast with us. And Tanisha always talks about getting in the room, right? That a lot of times we don't know things as a people, emerging entrepreneurs, whatever it is that you're trying to do, because you haven't been in the room. But once you get in the room, now you have access. I'm going to go a step further to say, not only do you need to get in the room, but who can you link up with in the room?
Yeah.
And I think that when it comes to talking about friends, how many of us have them? A lot of us have friends because of time, because of coincidence, right? We were frat brothers. We went to college together. We grew up down the street. He's my boy from church, whatever that looks like. And because of that familiarity, we confuse that for authentic friendship.
Yeah.
Right. And you and that person can be going on completely different life paths. And not to say one person's life path is better than the other, but at some point it's clear that, you know, have you ever been in, and I've done this, like I've been in situations where I've been familiar with somebody and we were in relationship with each other, but I did not feel good about it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I didn't feel good about the conversations. I didn't feel good. Not that they made me do anything that I didn't want to do, but I didn't feel good about who I reverted to when I was with them, because it wasn't true to who I was becoming. And one thing that I feel like has happened to us, and when I think about you and your friend group you're speaking about, is that in order, like when we came to Texas, we had to make conscious decisions of not just falling back on what was familiar, but putting ourselves in positions, getting in the room, but then going further to link arms with people who, you know, not to say that they had to have a lot, but were in pursuit and going in the same direction we were looking to go.
Yeah, I think the same direction is really, really key because, okay, so here's a great example. I used to always wonder to myself, like my parents, as they got older, why they had less and less friends. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to use the whole growing apart thing. I just don't think that, I don't want to say the relationships weren't real, but they didn't dig deep in the relationships to keep everything together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that the older we get, we're kind of figuring out that the vulnerability and the time spent has to mean a lot more than, hey, how's everything? Is everything good? You good?
It has to be worth the investment.
Yeah, for sure.
It has to be worth the investment. You know, the worst thing that can happen, you know, not too long ago, because of whatever reason, like, I think one of the worst things that can happen, like, is if you find out, I know a story of a young lady who recently took her life, right? Mm-hmm. And her friends around her, now this is an extreme example because there was mental health, there was a lot of other things going on, but her friends around her, they were so shocked. And I think part of it, and I was speaking to one of her friends, was like, we were surface. Like she was like we knew each other, mm-hmm. but like nobody dug. Nobody was like, no, are you really okay? Or all of these things. And that is an extreme example of it. But to your point, is like, I don't want to spend my time being around people where I cannot really bring who I am, right? Mm-hmm. But I have to be willing to bring who I am. TK, he says all the time, like and this leads into what Kevin Hart says. Kevin Hart said, like, it's lonely being the only friend that got money.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So and not that you only hang with people that have something, but our thinking has to be in alignment, right? So if you're the only one reading books and everybody around you is kind of balking at you, mm-hmm. that's going to be deflating to what you're doing. If you're the only one that is, you know, watching what you're eating and looking at your cholesterol and, you know, concerned about your health, or if you're the only one that want to kick and everybody else want to do something else, like, it's going to be a mismatch. And at some point, I think we really have to take a real hard look at the relationships in our life and see, A, not how they are serving us, but B, how we are serving them.
Yeah, I'm thinking about, you sent me a TD Jakes interview this morning. I have sent that to my whole group. Mm-hmm. You know, like, because I think that we know that we're at the point to where we celebrating each other's wins, but we also want to help each other grow. Well, yeah. Like, so when I grow in the area, I want to, the first thing TK said was, thank you, CL. I appreciate it. You know, I look at it tonight. Another thing that I want to mention too in friendship, I'm just speaking to people growing in different areas. I was talking to Johnny last night, and I had gave him a code to a house that I have in Mansfield.
I remember this.
And when I gave him the code, he said, okay, I'll go tomorrow. I said, well, when you go? I said, it's just a small house. It's a little 3-2. You know, it's not a big whatever. And he stopped me. He said, why are you always minimizing things? I said, I'm not minimizing. I'm just letting you know you're not about to go into a 2-story, 3,500 square foot house. He's like, yeah, but bro, you got the house, you rehab the house. It's it's one that you bought for your son. It's going to be a great rental. Y'all going to have some great lessons and memories from it. Stop minimizing stuff. So that in our relationship, he teaches me to stop, not so much thinking big, because that's a big I'm thinking small, because that's a big accomplishment, but stop stop tearing it down before I get a chance to build it up.
So I love that. And we do, we find ourselves doing that with each other. And it's so important to have people in your life that aren't gonna be like, don't say that, but building you up. Yeah. Like, listen, like, one of my homegirls last week at the when we was in Cabo, she was like, "Ooh, my swimming suit, look, I done got thick." Like, girl, you look good. Like, we gassed her up, and not for the sake of like she went out here looking bad, but we gassed her up and like motivated her, because we needed to be that voice in her ear to be like, look, you are dope. Right. And I think that is one of the biggest parts in friendship, is to be honest with people and to be able to say, hey, like, you need the type of friends around you that there is a respect factor where you all can have honest conversations with each other and say, you know what? I do it to Glennis all the time. Like, what you just said, that didn't make no sense. Right. And not from a rude way, but like, I'm your homegirl, so I'm going to let you know that you may not notice because, and TD Jake said this too, you may not notice because you can't look at you, right? Everybody in the room, he said, everybody in the room, he was like, when I'm in a room, I can see what you have on. I can see your shoes. I can see your hat. I can see the stage. I can see the lights. I can see the microphone. The one thing that I cannot see is me.
Myself, yeah.
I can't see myself. So because I can't see myself, a lot of times we minimize who we are. So sometimes we need those friends, not sometimes, but we need those friends. We need those relationships. We need those people in our corner who are going to call it out. You know what I'm saying? They go call out the dope stuff that you do, but then they're going to call you out on your thinking. They're going to call you out on your foolishness, but not from a place of, because let's be honest, it's a lot of people out here acting like they're your friend, right? But they not, so there definitely needs to be a spirit of discernment, so that you can discern those right relationships, because you may have some relationships out here that are trying to push you back so that you don't shine because they don't want you to outshine them. Yeah. When the best thing is to be in a relationship where it's like, no, I don't want to, like Kevin said, I don't want to be the only one shining. Jay-Z said that all the time. He was like, I don't want to be the only billionaire. Like, it's how many millionaires I can make. Who I can bring up with me is going to be my sign of success. And I think that is something like so true to look for in friendship.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, something that people might not even necessarily like, but really your friends, everybody don't need a whole lot of friends, and you don't need, you said it that, everybody's not your friend, but I think people think they need 30 people around them. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't really think so. I think you need quality people around you. And with those quality people, just make sure, and I'm thinking of a young man that I met last night. He was great. 27 years old, just moved here. He went to Morehouse. I got his whole story from Atlanta, the whole 9 yards. And when he got my number, he told me up front, he said, look, I'm not going to call you unless I can give you value first. Because he knew I was in real estate and he had a million real estate questions, but he knew that my time is valuable. And he told me, your time is valuable. I realized that, but in coming into this relationship, I'm going to come offering something. Yeah. Right. So just understand that everybody doesn't have to be your friend. He's 27 years old. He's almost half my age, right? He won't be my friend per se, but we can maybe do some business together or something, or even mentorship. You just never know,
So let me ask you this, Corey, because this is something that we hear a lot, right? Because elevation, the Eagle Talk community is full of entrepreneurs. It's full of entrepreneurs. It's full of aspiring entrepreneurs. It's full of people who want to be and do better, right? And whatever that thing they want to be and do better in, it's a variety of things. But sometimes, I think we feel guilty because elevation has a natural separation process, and they don't want to forget where they came from or forget their peeps or whatever. So what would you say to that person who is really struggling with who they are becoming and their current friend group not fitting that narrative?
I would tell them to let that be their problem. If the elevation is going to be separation, that's not my problem, because I'm too busy focused on the elevation. And that's not disrespectful to anybody, but if you want to come along for the ride, then jump on board and let's do this together, right? Because it's almost like when I used to run track, we had the put these things on our back and we ran, a parachute would come up, right? Mm-hmm. So kind of for resistance. It's the same situation. If you slow me down, and if I'm trying to grow and I'm moving in a specific direction, and you slow me down, I can't think about how you feel about me elevating.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me because I'm concentrating on the goal. So that's my answer.
As you say that, Corey, I just really think about, that is, we different, mm-hmm. We think about things differently. And you kind of always, not a kind of like I'm a cut you off type person, because that's definitely not what you're speaking from. No. But you are okay when you just handle it a little differently, right?
I understand that relationships could be seasonal, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah. But I will also say this is that in the most recent years, I think that you have gone deeper in friendships mm-hmm. than you've ever gone. Whereas I feel like a lot of my friendships, my seasoned friendships, they were deep from the start. Mm-hmm. And now that my life has grown in a different direction, and it's not just business, it may be, I may not have as much in common with my friend who's a jet setter that doesn't have kids.
Yeah, but I don't want to cut you off, but I do want, in speaking about me and you, I would like to say that probably the biggest thing that I can think of is you have always been an extrovert and I'm an introvert, so I never had that many people.
Yeah. Right. Which is you're introverted extrovert. Like you're one of those.
Now I am.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I'm fine being by myself all day long.
And okay, so I do want to give that perspective, because I will say that I think that your closest friendships mm-hmm. have grown in tandem and in season with the people who are also in the same season of your life.
True.
Okay.
Going back to TD Jakes, what we were just referencing, he said people are so busy dating so many other people that they don't get time to date themselves. And that's what I had to do. I had to figure me out before I let people into my life.
Okay.
Right?
So that's great. So we were the opposite, because I let people, and not a million people, but I have let people into my life. And then once I got to know me, be like, ooh.
Yeah, she not for me.
I'm her kid's auntie and we not in alignment anymore, right? And with that, this is what I'm going to say is that it does hurt. Like I have had some situations where I had to be honest with myself. I'm thinking of one situation in particular where I love, like this, it's a friend that I loved. And honestly, when our family shifted to Texas, there was a natural separation there. But then when I really looked at it, I was not the best. And not that we were mean to each other, because that wasn't it, right? I'm with you. But I was not, it wasn't healthy for me to be a friend to her, mm-hmm. and it wasn't healthy for her to be a friend to me. But the love was there, mm-hmm. right? The love was there. The care was there, but it's clear that our lives were shifting in two separate directions. And what I had to do, which the person was kind of like you, kind of like, all right, damn, deuces. Yeah. But me, it really kind of hurt my feelings a lot bit, but I had to be okay and knowing, like, you know what, it's okay, right? Yeah. It's okay to have seasons, and I don't have to. It's the thing. I think a lot of times we grow up or we live in society where it says, "Hey, if you don't rock with me, now we enemies." Right. I've never looked at it that way. We cannot rock with each other and still and not be enemies. Like I can I'm at EXP. I don't hate every KW agent. Like I don't, a couple are whack, but a couple EXP agents are whack, So just because our season is up or we have gone in different directions does not mean that. But I will say that as we are looking to grow and looking to elevate in whatever area that is in your life, it's going to be very important to be able to link arms with people who are going through what you going through. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna, we just celebrated 16 years of marriage. It's really important to link arms with people who are at 16, 17, 18 years of marriage, because if everybody that I'm friends with is single, or they just got married yesterday, or they just got divorced last week, mm-hmm. the conversation, the goal, what we're doing, how we spend our time, that's going to be different. Yeah. And it's not going to be in alignment with who I am working to become, to continue to become, or who they are.
Yeah, so the moral of the story, guys, is we have figured out that there's some really dope people out here.
There's some, and look, and the thing about really dope people is you got to be able to reach out to those dope people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to be able to reach out and be uncomfortable. You got to be okay with being not the richest one in the room or the smartest one or even the prettiest one in the room, ladies.
Yeah.
Like you can hang out with your husband's friend whose wife is gorgeous and super dope and talented, and that does not say anything about who you are.
Yeah.
So there's just so many layers to that.
Yeah. So hope this was helpful, guys. Just, evaluate your friends, evaluate your situations. And again, if it's working, it's working. And if it's not, just, make a mental note and make a change if you need to. But we just came off an amazing trip, and we came back and was just discussing with each other, like, man, we are really grateful for our community.
We really are.
Yeah.
And our friend Terrell Knighton, TK, he just did a mastermind the other week that we invested in. We actually brought another friend with us. And Terrell always says something, I believe it's in the Bible. He says, if you want a friend, be a friend, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that a lot of times we're looking for something that we're not willing to give, or and I'm gonna give you a flip, or we're looking for people to be and show up exactly the way we show up, right? So if you just go show up and be a friend, if you the one that bring a cake to all the repasts and you the one that, like set up all the sushi dates, don't be mad if Keisha don't set up the sushi dates, right? If her gifting
been your role,
if her gifting looks different, but this is what you get to do. You get to decide if Keisha fits what you need, right? So yeah, I think that's all we got.
Yeah. So a great episode, guys. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to the podcast. We are growing.
5-star review.
The Facebook group is growing. Everything is growing, which is pretty cool.
And we're very grateful. We got some very fun things coming up that we just cannot wait to share with you. And we'll talk to you soon, Eagle Talk fam.
See y'all next time.
Be good.